Hello everyone, welcome back to Advent of Code, learning Kotlin as I go. Before I get started on day 2, there's a couple bits of cleanup that I wanted to do here. Why is this highlighted in green? Or is that yellow? I can't really tell. I don't care. There's a few things of cleanup I wanted to do, and I wanted to capture all this stuff on camera just because, like, I don't know, the same as how I record video games, kind of trying to give you the impression of what it's like to do things. I don't know, I just kind of like stuff being documented. So you can see how miserable it is to learn a new language again. So what I wanted to do mostly was, I don't even know, by the way, at the time of this recording, whether this video is going to include day 2 or if it's just the cleanup in between day 1 and day 2. We shall see. I want to take this and I want to make it a function that is globally available. And then I also want to take this and extract out the part of it that deals with new line separated stuff and make that a global or project-wide function as well. So I'm going to learn about how to share stuff from multiple files in Kotlin. They're not in a class, so you're not importing the class. I assume the IDE will just figure it out for me, but I think I can just put it in a Kotlin file as a top-level function, and it'll get imported automatically. There's also a little tiny thing I noticed here. I'm using sequence map sum max because that seemed like sequences were the Kotlin-y thing to do. But then down here, I do exactly the same thing, but I use a stream because Kotlin sequences didn't actually give me what I needed. So get that sequence out of here. We're using a stream now. Really? Well, I mean, sure. What is the type of max? Why? So why would the type of max on stream, which I assume is coming from Kotlin, right? Oh, no, this is Java's streams max. I see. Well, that sort of makes sense. We didn't use max here. Okay, it sort of makes sense, actually. This max is not really well defined. What does the documentation for this even say? I mean, it returns a T question mark, right? So why is it not upset here? I say I'm returning an int, but actually I'm returning like a maybe int. This fun says it returns a T, but that's like, it can't. This says it returns a T question mark, so it's like jumping me to the wrong one or something? I don't know. I think I'm being tricked here somehow, but I'll leave it as sequence for now. I want to, ooh. Look at that. I connected my GitHub account and everything, and now it says who wrote it. Oh, I don't know if I approve of that, but can I, what button did I press? Hopefully nothing too bad. Hide all author hints. Yes. I don't know what I did here. Coverage runner. Okay, I don't care about that. Okay. Now before, it was showing me new over the top of these things. I thought that was like a UI affordance to let me add new features to something or whatever. But I guess that was like the code authorship thing, and it just was showing new because I hadn't committed anything yet? Okay. So what I want to do is take this, and I suspect if I just say refactor move to a new package, we'll call it lib for now. That looks right. I don't know why it is red, because it doesn't exist yet, I guess. We're going to call this input.kt. Sure. Show conflicts. But what I want to do, I want to make it visible. Where did I choose to make it not visible? Oh, it's private. Well, okay. Well, let's cancel this and see if I just made a mistake when I was refactoring. Move lib I don't see an option here to change visibility. Obviously, I could change it here. But that really shouldn't impact what it's going to do when I move it, should it? Move. To lib input. So that it was happy to do. Yes, put it in Git. I don't understand why its visibility in this file should have any bearing on its visibility when I put it over here. Exactly. Okay, and so did it get imported? Yes. Read input. Great. So now we can go look at read input and maybe clean it up a bit. Convert to block body. Good. Because really all this, like, you know, assuming it's always going to be there was kind of a problem. Instead of just returning it, we'll take this. Hello? My keys aren't working? Oh, I'm up. Okay. Val. Oh, I can just say, make it a variable, please. Resource, yes. And then if I were to say return, you know, resource dot whatever, it'll complain and say surround with null check. And what I want to do is actually the opposite. Say if resource is null, then throw new. No, we don't say new. Throw. I mean, really, it's an IO exception. Runtime. Oh, an unchecked IO is what they're called? Yes. Let's make this a variable. Control-Alt-V, I assume? Yes, val. Path. No resource at path. And go ahead and remove that else for me. Replace if with Elvis? Is that what I want? Unchecked IO exception should have an argument that just takes a string, doesn't it? What are you mad about here? I thought we don't say new, right? We do. No, we don't? Am I crazy? Java doc for unchecked IO exception. Oh, it doesn't have one. I see. You're not allowed to throw... All right, I'll just call it a runtime exception then. Great. So now you're thinking you can do something clever with this, huh? Oh, yes, that makes sense. So it's either this or else throw an exception. Sure. And I don't need this anymore. That looks okay. So let's commit some stuff. Sure, whatever, you can add that at the same time. Really, I guess it should be separate. Let's just commit this. Add lava dep. Well, commit it, because really we had it, we just didn't. Really, I should amend, I guess, right? Hang on. Yes, so include this and not that, and also all the other stuff that was there. Amend commit. Okay. Now do all this stuff and extract read input to lib. I don't need this file anymore. I don't need this anymore. So now, oh, this is my coverage markers. That's cute. I didn't need it, but I accidentally generated it. So I wanted to take some of this and extract it, right? The thing that parses into lists of lists, basically. So take out this elf and the toInt and make that a new library function. So let's just take this and put it here and say parse group lines groups across blank lines. And I don't think this should be a global function. It should be a function on list of string. Am I allowed to do this? This looks allowed, yes? Good. So now this is a function that will be accessible, I don't want it to be private, on list of string as kind of a member, looking like a member function. It doesn't return a list of elf though. It returns a list of string. And, oh, did I really? I have val elves equals blah, return elves? That's stupid. Shouldn't have, I should have just said return build list or whatever. But okay. So we'll say build list that. And, oh, I guess it's not quite, okay. You can do this for me. Can't you? I understand the type is wrong. I want you to make this into... Can you not? I just want to say equals this. Right? That's the cool way to do it? No, that's not how you... Is this how you reformat? To remove custom line breaks. Sure, what custom line breaks did I write? I don't know, whatever. So yeah, this was fine. The problem is that next elf is not what we want anymore. Let's call this chunk is a list of string. Actually, I guess it's a sequence? No. It's a list of string because we're returning a list here. Line. Add chunk. Yes? So input lines, though, we don't need anymore. We can just say get rid of this. And we can just say has next, right? Do I have to write this dot has next? Oh, how do I I need to get to this thing. Okay, the problem is generate sequence, I think. But this is just a function. It shouldn't be changing my this, should it? Let me... Kotlin extension function this reference. How do you reference to... No, that's the wrong question. Modify this in extension function? That sounds insane. Not what I want, right? Extend. Okay, this expressions, that's probably what I want. This expression... This denotes, in an extension function, or a function literal with receiver this. What is a okay, so a function literal with receiver, but I don't think I have one of those, right? If this has no label qualifiers, this at? Oh, I hate that. But shouldn't, like, there's only one has next in scope, right? Isn't this the kind of thing that's supposed to just be easy? What am I missing? Is the problem... Wait, back to the IDE. Is the problem that inside this lambda, it doesn't want to assume that this will still be in scope? But it is. It can't not be, right? Not empty iterator has next, you sicko. So, okay, this at this dot? I mean, but that doesn't work. Oh, I forgot to make the iterator. That's why I had all this stuff. There's an iterator here somewhere that disappeared when I was copying, I guess? Right? Can I look at compare? Show current file, show diff? Where did my iterator go? Oh no, I called build list. I declared a function. Oh, it's a parameter. I see. Okay, fine. How do I hide? How do I leave this? Is it just this? Okay. So the problem is, over here, I should be saying val iter equals iterator. No. This dot iter. Hello? Oh, I need to. Okay. I need to put it in braces now because I'm doing more stuff. It's not just a single expression anymore. How do I thought this was how I format? No, this is. Already properly formatted. Well, I guess that's because I fucked everything up. Okay, I assume I can get rid of this then. Yes, okay. So all these things were meant to just be the iterator. Why is toList? This is not formatted correctly. I have the wrong braces or something. What is happening down here? Why is it lit up? A return expression is required, yes. Return, oh. Return this. Maybe it is actually indented correctly. Generate sequence. What does this brace match up with? Why is it not highlighting them for me? Isn't that like what you should do? There is no typo in this. I mean, I guess everything is compiling. I don't see any red angry things. Yeah, so I guess this is fine. So, then I can go back. Oh, I don't need elf, of course, yes. I can go back here and say parse elves produces a list of elf, but it does so much more simply. Can I still don't understand why it's not willing to like switch to automatically switch to expression mode for me. But like all of this code is uninteresting now, right? I can just say, oh, parse elves. Okay, let's get rid of this iterator call, I guess. Well, dot groups across blank lines. Yeah. So obviously it gives you a list of string and you thought you wanted an iterator, but you're wrong. You want a list of string after all. Returning a list of elf. And it's going to be a very simple function. It's just input lines dot map elf of it. Is that it? It dot to int. No, hang on. I see. Lines to elf of lines dot map of it dot to int. Yes. Now, is there some clever way that I can just say like to int here? Do I really need this lambda? Convert lambda to reference? That's not that much better, but I'll take it. And just inline this for me, which I think was usually that. Very good. And run, see if the program still works. Only 25 minutes in on this little refactoring journey, but I'm still learning stuff, and it still works. Great. Was there anything else I wanted to do while I'm here? Not really. So let's commit this. And we generalized parsing blank line separated files. Oh, I typed it with a D. You're supposed to do present tense, but I was talking to you guys. Amend commit. Generalize, please. So hopefully it won't take me any time at all to do day 2, and I think I'm going to have a crack at it rather than like saying this was a refactoring video. Because now we're so expert at Kotlin and the IDE, it honestly should be easy. Day 2, rock, paper, scissors. The elves begin to set up camp on the beach. To decide whose tent gets to be closest to the snack storage, a giant rock, paper, scissors tournament is already in progress. It's a game between 2 players. Okay. Yes, so this is just normal rock, paper, scissors rules. Elves give you an encrypted strategy guide that will be sure to help you win. The first column is what your opponent's going to play. A, B, or C. The second column must be what you should play in response. X for rock, Y for paper, and Z for scissors. Oh, I see. So I imagine we're going to find out that we've misunderstood, right? And we were supposed to interpret X, Y, and Z in some other way. Okay, got it. The winner of the whole tournament will be the player with the highest score. Your total score is the sum of your scores for each round. The score for a single round is the score for the shape you selected. Boy, I'm rolling scissors every time. I mean, I don't know. That's actually, like, this is a more interesting rock, paper, scissors, right? Because it's not just totally obviously random. Right? There's an incentive to choose scissors, but of course scissors loses to rock, so you should choose rock. Kind of interesting. What's the score for the outcome of the round? Yeah, 6 points for winning, 3 for a draw. So you can't be sure if the elf is trying to help you or trick you. What? They're elves. They're good guys. You should calculate the score you would get if you were to follow the strategy guide. Predicts and recommends. Okay. Great. Fine. So let's get our puzzle input here. And put this in the old IDE. Here. New file, day2.txt. Yep, put it in Git, please. Great. Done. So we can say then to make a new package under this called day2 and a new file under this called day2. Yes, it named the .kt. Great. Okay. And so there's some stuff we're going to reuse here. But, I mean, not much, really. Like this. We'll have some part 1s, some part 2s, and some parsing. So let's start, before we even write a main, let's define some stuff. Okay, remind me, in Kotlin, some types. I'll just look them up by useful. Not some typos, some types. Are they really supported through? They're not really inheritance though, right? Discriminated unions, okay. So it looks like this. So use the sealed class, yeah, which is like the, okay. So I want like several new types for ABC, I guess, right? And what do they do for things with only one? Okay, I don't need any companion objects. Like for a leaf node, if I were to look up Kotlin sealed class expression leaf, like that'll tell me something, right? Effective Kotlin, okay. Sealed interface leaf. Oh, but they put a thing in. Okay, whatever. I was trying to figure out how do you make a class with no fields, which I think I want. I can just use an enum, I guess. Kotlin enum, that probably is better, actually. Sure. Okay, fine. So let's start with a few new enum class left, let's say. It just has A, B, and C. I'm calling this left because we know it's the leftmost thing on the paper, and we're, for the moment, interpreting them as rock, paper, scissors. And probably they will be, because I think that's what the elf even said to us. And we're assuming, but didn't actually hear from the elf, that X, Y, and Z also correspond, but like, that's crazy. They would just write A, B, and C again. So we're going to find out that we're wrong. And enum class symbol? What do they call? Shape. They call it a shape. Shape has... Do they like writing these in caps? They do. Okay. Rock, paper, and scissors. Cool. So these, I think, are the three main types that we want here. But I suppose it couldn't hurt to have a data class for a pair of these things, which is what we're going to be parsing each line as, right? Data class, well, what do they call them here? What your opponent is going to play. Nope. All right. Well, whatever. It's a strategy guide. It's a strategy? Sure. Which holds a val left, which is a left. Oops. Left, which is a left. And val right, which is a right. Cool. No, not a var. Yuck. Okay. So, some other things. We want to know, how do you... Great. So I want also to have a... this is secretly going to have a field, val score, which is an int. And what do they all score? Rock scores 1, paper 2, scissors 3, right? Rock 1, paper 2, scissors 3. Yes, okay. So rock is 1, paper is 2, and scissors is 3. I see I have 11 warnings. That's something. Oh, sure. All this shit is unused. Fine. Of course. Okay. So we're getting, like, the information from the problem written down. One thing we're going to want is... I guess a game outcome, actually, we need. Enum class outcome. And I guess this needs a score as well. A win scores 6. A draw scores 3. And a lose scores 0. Right? 0 for losing, 3 for drawing, 6 for winning. Yep, okay. So now we want a function that gives us the outcome from righty's perspective. Outcome for right takes I guess a strategy, really. It could take a left and a right, but why not take a strategy? No, because our strategies are these ABCs, XYZs, and we don't know necessarily how those are going to correspond to rock, paper, and scissors. So it should take val left, which is a shape, and val right, which is a shape. When is something you can write, isn't it? No? How do you... Case? All right. Kotlin pattern match. Just like, give me something on stack. Okay, destructuring in when. It's called when. Yeah, it's when. I don't know why it wasn't auto-completing this for me. Actually, you know what? This could probably be an expression body. Oh, and it returns an outcome equals when how does when work? I don't need complex. I just I mean, like, you want, like, usually the way you do this in a language with good pattern matching is you define a function called, like, wins against, which takes 2 arguments and returns a Boolean. And you say wins against rock, paper, wins against paper, scissors. Well, the opposite. And then your outcome thing just says, oh, if left win... Okay, fine. I guess I'll do that. Wins against... well, this really should be a property of shape, shouldn't it? Sure. And it also takes, I hope this is allowed, val inferior, which is another shape. So rock takes scissors as an argument. Is that allowed? Unimentary scissors is uninitialized here. Yeah, okay. So I guess we can't quite do it that way. But we can, I assume, have these, like a Java enum, each have their own implementation of something. How the frick do I do that? Why am I saying frick? Implementing interfaces, yeah. So, I mean, I assume you say, like, don't you say open or something? Open fun? Say it's abstract, right? Yeah, open fun beats val other shape bool boolean abstract fun. Okay. so now there's this problem that all these don't implement their thing. That's great. I want to do that. Return other equals scissors. And can we expression body, please? Yes. Okay. Implement, return other equals, what does paper be? Rock. Inline it, please, or not inline it, but shorten it. And return other equals paper. Cool. Val is not allowed. Okay, sure. Since it's abstract, I guess you don't have to specify. It's weird that it's not allowed, but fine. So now I have this enum where each of the enum constants knows which other shape it beats. And I can get back to what I wanted to write, which was fun outcome for write. Let's say P2 takes a val P1 shape and a val P2 shape. And I want to just like have a, you know, an if-else chain, right? But like, is there a cute way to do that? A conditional Kotlin multi-way if? Is that a thing? When multiple conditions? Okay, this is some horrible clickbaity thing. Yeah, that's not really what I wanted. All right, whatever. I'll just write it like a boring Java idiot and see if the IDE gives me a better suggestion. If P1 beats P2, return lose. If P2 beats P1, return win. Oh, I didn't say what the type of this is. What a fool. It's, of course, an outcome. Although maybe I could have gotten it to infer that for me? I don't know. Return draw. Oh, actually, I can just say draw, right? Yeah, draw. Did I say outcome.draw? Huh, okay. Oh my god, I put semicolons here like a Java weirdo. Okay, so why am I not... Val on function parameters is not allowed. Are they always, like, constant, or... A return expression is required. Okay, return. Now, do you have any suggestion here? Because I hate this. You don't have a better way to write this? IntelliJ? Okay. Fine. We've done it. We've implemented rock, paper, scissors. Now we have to, like... I really should have made this another video. But, you know, we're just sort of writing down things that are true about the domain and figuring out how to translate that into Kotlin language. So we can start doing something else and say fun score for P2. P1 shape, P2 shape is an int. And I keep, by the way, putting spaces in front of this colon because I'm about to type like a Haskell double colon, but you know, it'll fix it for me. But you're supposed to, stylistically, you shouldn't leave a space. That's why I keep typing it, is that I forget what I'm doing. We can just say return outcome for P2 of P1 and P2 plus when no, I don't have to say when. P2 dot score. Right? Easy. And in fact, this should just be a thing. Great. So let's write a main, I guess. Fun main. How do I input? Isn't that read input? Yes, thank you. Read input of 2. Make that a local. Lines equals this. Great. I mean, really, we want to do more than this, right? We want to map over it some function that parses it. So val guide equals map oh, I'm sure everyone's using a regex for this, huh? Fine. Let's have a val. I don't know. Kotlin regex. How do you do it? Class regex, yes. For JVM. So you init it with a string. And I guess I want to say find, or really match entire, I guess would be correct. I don't really want to split. Okay, but what do I get when I call match entire? I get a match result. And a match result. Ooh, match result.destructured. Components for destructuring assignment. What does this mean? Okay, here's some examples. Got it. Okay. Fine. So let's try and write that. Well, I guess let's also say val regex equals val, yeah, sure, regex, why not? Equals regex of abc space xyz. But we need capturing groups. That looks right. Regex dot match entire of it. And that is a something. I guess I just want to call dot destructured on it, so I don't even want to assign this yet. Dot destructured. So you're going to complain that this is only safe or non. So I claim this is non-null. Take that. Val of left right equals this. That's what I saw in the. Okay, so you could just have you can just have free floating tuples, I guess. Okay. I mean, honestly, I feel like I should not be doing this. The input might not match, and if it doesn't, I'd like to know what went wrong. All right, what would be the right way to do this? I mean, I guess I'm supposed to say val match equals regex.match entire of it, or else throw runtime exception of it, the string. Just say it. I won't say why it broke, and then equals match.destructured. Okay, cool. We have something that looks like destructuring. That's nice, at least. And I assume I can say, left dot value of. Yes, okay. So return a strategy of left dot value of left, right dot value of right, like so. And there's going to be problems with. That's not the problem I expected. Oh, I'm not supposed to say return. I'm actually sort of surprised this is allowed. Why doesn't it think value of could return null? Right? It claims it returns a left, but obviously it can. Oh, it probably does never return null. Just throws an exception if it doesn't match. Great. That's what I wanted. Of course it doesn't return null. So now we've parsed our strategies, hopefully. Let's just print the guide now and see how that looks. Something went wrong while compiling, I guess, and I didn't notice that. What is the issue here? Outcome doesn't have a plus. Ah. Yes, you are correct. I should have said score. Try again. Exception in main. Here. Well, that sounds about right. But what's the... Shouldn't I have gotten... Oh, maybe exception... Bad input it. Not a bad input, a bad input. Empty, huh? I thought that, I mean, I guess, okay, I should make sure not to have a blank line there. Is that actually going to fix it? It is. Okay, I like Haskell's lines function better, where if there's an empty line at the, or a new line at the end, it doesn't count it in the input. But okay. So this is, we have successfully parsed the input now. Let's celebrate by committing that, shall we? Day 2 parser. Such as it is. It's obviously not much. I really don't think I care at all. Well, actually, these are kind of annoying. Okay, sure, didn't need that. You got me. So wait a minute. How do I cancel the previous commit and like create? I don't know. Maybe it'll just commit these files anyway. Oh, rerun the checks? Yes. This one I want to ignore. I guess I should have said parser and types. Parser and types. Day 2, parser and types. Types and parser, whatever. Okay. So again, as I said in day one, we're not trying to write the shortest program that solves the problem. I'm trying to write, a program that describes the domain. Sorry, bumped the monitor there, probably made some noise. Program that describes the domain and then, in terms of the domain's own logic, solves the problem. And I think we're getting there. We've parsed the guide. So now I just basically have to say, run day one of this, right? Print, or part one. Part one of guide. Please give me this function called part one. Takes a list of strategy, great, and returns an int. Let's review the requirements now. Your total score according to the strategy guide. Okay. How do you make a map in Kotlin? Kotlin map dictionary. That should distinguish it from the map function. I bet you just say map of, don't you? Never mind. I don't need to read this. Map of course. So what we can say is that val left is map of oh, it's got some weird syntax, doesn't it? For yes, you use two. Ugh. All right. Map of A to rock. Oh my god. Do I have to, can I import this or something? No. Okay, fine. It's probably good for me anyway to be specific here. Shape. Paper. Actually, I should double check. Is this really what the spec says? A for rock, B for paper, C for scissors. Yes, okay. Left dot C to shape dot scissors. And then val right is map of, very similarly, right.x to shape.rock, right? That's what we're pretending we think it means. Rock, paper, scissors. Yes, of course. Right.y to shape.paper. Right.z to shape.scissors. Great. I now have maps to convert these strategies to the actual shapes that we should use, which is what we're doing in part one. And I suspect in part two we'll do something else. Although, honestly, this I could probably extract, right? How do I mean, because this is going to be the same in part one and part two, I imagine. But, you know what? Let's just leave it for now. That way, we'll have a nice clean part one, and when part two comes, we'll move out the part that's appropriate, which I assume will be just this part. So now we just need to return guide dot sequence. What happens if I say max? Is this allowed? Max. I'm kind of surprised none of these just let you take max. Oh, because guide isn't right. It's not a list of int yet. Got it. Okay, never mind. Map. So is there a way to destructure Kotlin destructure data class. So the components, destructuring declarations, structuring in lambdas. No, I understand that. But what kinds of things are allowed to be destructured is my question. Okay. Can you... I don't want to watch a fucking video, but it's the only thing that has the right title. It's like, how do you destructure a data class in Kotlin? How do you destructure? All right, I'll just assume it works. I'll just write what I wish would happen. My strategy is the argument here, and I will say left, right, O, L. You know what? Maybe I'll just use the strategy. Maybe I won't destructure here because I'm overlapping with the variables here named left and right. So it dot. What I want is score for P2 of it. No. Left dot. What's the difference between get? These both return question marks, which I kind of hate. Get, is there like a get or throw? Like, I want a null pointer exception, man. Because I know I can just write it here and it'll give me a warning, but I want to know how I'm supposed to do this. I don't want to write getter default. I know my map is exhaustive, but Kotlin doesn't know that. There's get value, which has a non-nullable return for some reason. Or throws an exception. Okay, done. I did it. It dot left. And then right dot get value of it dot right. Dot sum? Right? I think this is all I wanted. Oh, why did I make this a var? Fingers just too used to typing it, maybe? Run? $11,841. I accept. Let's see if this is the right answer. It's the right answer. Okay. So, as predicted, once we had the domain nailed down, writing the function was pretty easy. So, as before, let's celebrate with a commit. Git commit. Get this out of my face. Day 2, part 1. Anything I want to clean up while I'm here? Oh, it looks good. All right. What's part 2? Anyway, the second column says the round needs to end. X means you need to lose, Y means you need to draw, and Z means you need to win. I see. Okay, no problem. So we just want, as predicted, we want to take this and move? Introduce, no, move, right? No. Pull up? No. Extract variable? Extract variable. No. I mean, I can literally just do this. But the IDE, I'm sure there's a way to tell it that's what I wanted. And I'm not smart enough, I guess. Fun part 2. Well, I mean, honestly, let's just copy this. Returns an int. And I guess we need a map to outcomes this time, right? Oh, I didn't even need to copy that. What am I doing? So X says you should lose. Y says you should draw. And Z says you should win. Now, we don't actually have a mechanism to go from lose to what the right shape is, but it shouldn't be too hard. I'll write that in just a sec. BRB. Right. I'm back. So we were saying, oh, isn't it a shame we don't currently have a way to go from a shape and an outcome to another shape. We kind of need the inverse of this function, right? Which also means the inverse of like all these functions in a way. So we could write that, and pattern match on the shape and the outcome and decide, based on, okay, if they're throwing rock and we're supposed to lose, we should look that up in our table of 9 entries and find that the way to lose to rock is scissors. But we're not going to do that. That's too much work. Instead, I want to make these. Oops. Hello? There we go. Make this into a local. Sure, P1's actually a great name. This, though, needs a different name. Val goal equals this. And then we'll say val P2 is, let's say, solve of P1 and goal P2. Now I need a function convert to also or apply. I sort of know what also and apply are. What would it mean to make a conversion here? Oh, you're just noticing that you're assuming this is a... Yeah, okay. That's true. I mean, maybe that would actually be a reasonable thing to do once we've implemented solve, but no. First I want to implement solve. And I think it makes sense for it to be a top-level function, right? I mean, in some sense, it makes sense for it to be part of part 2, right? Yeah, let's put it in part 2. And we'll basically just try all the shapes and see which one gives us the right outcome. Right? What is the best way to do that in Kotlin? Like, we want to iterate through the list and return the first one that matches is how you would do it in Java. That kind of early return is not the only option we have, though. We could filter the list and assume there's exactly one entry, which kind of stinks. So let's just say shape dot what are enum entries? Those don't exist in Java. What are these? Where do these come from? Shape.entries. How would I know? Kotlin, what are enum entries? Enum entries. Okay, yeah. An immutable implementation of list that contains... Okay, weird. I don't care about this. Just curious. Do I? Oh wait, it's a list, right? An implementation of list that contains all the enums in the order they're declared, consistent with enum.ordinal. Okay, I mean, I guess that's better than values, which would return an array. This gives me a list. I'll take it, I guess. This is a list. What? Why do you not like this? You offered to give me shape.entries. Val is equals. Like, why is this? Give me an example of using this? Is it like private or something? Oh, it's an experimental standard lib API from Kotlin.enums. Okay, maybe this isn't a thing I'm supposed to have yet. All right, whatever. Shape dot values, iterate over it for shape in shape dot values. If shape dot no. If outcome for P2 of P1 and shape equals our goal, then return, and I might have to say return at something here because I nested this function like a dummy. Return shape, right? And then I can say like throw. I mean, this is definitely a runtime exception because why on earth did you? Okay, you just auto-completed the one you don't like, I guess. Throw runtime exception of impossible to goal against P1. Right, that should never happen, but if it does, that's a good error message. Sort of. It's good enough. So this looks fine, right? If I ran this, what would happen? Oh, I never called this function. Fair enough, you got me. So this is another thing that would be kind of nice to somehow extract out as like part of a helper, that like you pass it a parse function and two part functions and it, oh, print line. Well, we got a number out, that's good, and it's much lower than the first one. It's higher. I guess I can't read. It looked longer because the word part was merged into it, I guess. Okay. Well, let's see if that's correct. It is the right answer. Okay, so at least I'm good at implementing logic still. I haven't forgotten that. I just don't know how to use Kotlin yet. What else? I mean, I don't know. I don't like this function. And this solve function. This, I think, could be prettied up somehow with Kotlin. Like, P1 we're using twice, but goal we're only using once. P2 we're only using once. Like, okay, I guess what we can do is just say commit this. And then, now that it's committed, I've already committed. Get out of here. We can start just inlining stuff and see if it suggests some improvements, right? P2, I mean, this is only used once, so get in there. Goal, it's only used once, get in there. P1 we are using twice. You have any suggestions in here? Convert to apply or run or with? Doesn't seem like a great... What would apply do here? Oh, I see. You'd be modifying this. What? This doesn't look like it's rendering properly. Is it? Or write.run? Score for P2 of P1 and solve of write dot... Oh no, this is stupid. It's saying instead of calling get value, say, here's a lambda you could call on write, and the lambda is to call get value. Is that even right? It's changed what the it refers to, doesn't it? No, run doesn't capture it, I guess. I don't know. This is not prettier, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like any of that. No, this actually is fine. Get out left and right as to figure out the shape one and the goal, and then inline solve. I think that's an improvement. So let's just amend that real quick. And I guess I haven't pushed yet, right? Why are you even asking me what to push? I want to push the main branch. Which, by the way, default called master, but that's not cool anymore. I should change it to main. Sure, push. I don't know, whatever. All right, we did it. We solved day 2. Oh, push rejected. Remote changes? There shouldn't be any. All right, I'll figure that out later. Hope you guys enjoyed some more floundering about trying to learn Kotlin. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.